What are you gonna bring today?
Energy is huge for me. That's something that never, never dies. I don't want you to ever have any fear of doing something that you've been called to do.
This place is extremely special. This is more than just wins and losses. It's more than the sports, and it's more than coaching. It's about prayer.
All you need is to give someone hope, and you'll never know how far and how good they could really be.
God showed love, but y'all showed out.
We just gotten beat to Wichita State, so that kind of left a bad taste in our mouth as well. And we went into halftime, I believe we were up 9, and we just kind of just fell asleep. And then we end up losing the game. So I think that gave us a little bit of fire as well. Like, do you want to go get your butt beat? And I think I had to do an interview, and they're like, oh, you're 0-2 against the American Conference. So I was like, okay, I'm going to let our girls know about that one too. But I mean, they fought. And that's one thing I can always say about this team. Like, we've been through a lot since July, and we've pivoted. We've just adjusted to a lot of things that have been thrown our way. But I'm telling you, never quit, never, just rolled over. They just never a doubt. They just came back the next day after a good butt whooping. Let's go, coach. I'm ready to get better. And I love that about this group. And hopefully it'll pay off in March.
That's the one attribute that the team has throughout. You don't necessarily have the most physically gifted roster in the country. I think that you'd probably agree with that. As far as raw heart goes, I wouldn't put this. I wouldn't put anybody against this team in terms of the heart that they've been born with. My goodness.
That's the beauty of this team, because just like you said, we don't have, if you look at us, we're not, or we don't have. And from July, that's what we've talked about, like just playing with that chip. And most people say, hey, you have a chip on your shoulder. Oh, that's arrogance, or, they're cocky. But we've used our chip and we've turned that into a positive thing. Like, use that as your fuel. They said you weren't good enough. They said you weren't going to play D1. They said you're not fast enough. They said you're not athletic enough. Now what are you going to do about it? Go prove somebody wrong. And I think that's been our fuel. That was our talk before we went out against North Texas. And I mean, it paid off. But that's been our fuel. That's been our fire. And that's what kind of has kept us going.
I think these girls prove too, it's a big misconception in basketball. You don't have to be the most athletic to play good defense.
Come on now.
Like, that is a big misconception. We have like Gentry's a good example. She's not massive by any stretch of the imagination, but she talks about in our interview with her identity is defense.
Yeah.
And that's just something you can be coached, you can teach. It's effort, it's will.
That's why I love that side of the ball, because it's heart, it's guts. It's just pure want to. You don't have to be extremely talented. You don't have to be extremely athletic. I'm going to get my body there before you. I'm going to be smarter than you and use my angles. I'm going to use my length. What did God bless me with? I got long arms. Okay, I'm going to use them. I'm going to pressure you. Maybe I'm shorter like Gentry, so I can get a little bit closer to you and, kind of force the issue. So that side of the ball is beautiful, but that side of the ball also creates offense and momentum and energy changing. And that's why, defense has been a huge focus for us. And that's paid off as well for us.
I've heard a story, at least, I think it really speaks to this team and the kind of grit people have. Like, Ari had a tough time for 5 seconds there. People do get second chances, and that just goes to show the kind of culture you're building, where she's going to be a better player because of that game.
Yeah, she missed the free throw. But then we went into overtime, and she was open in the corner. She didn't shoot it because she was still worried about, oh, man, I didn't win us the game. I could have won, So when the game was over, I said, Ari, what I'm most disappointed about is not the free throw. It's the fact that you didn't take the shot. I don't want you to ever have any fear of doing something that you've been called to do. I'm not going to get mad that you miss a shot, but I'm going to get mad if you don't take it. So it's paid off, because the 15-point game she just had, I said, listen, at halftime, they're not guarding you. Stop letting people disrespect you. Quit that. You go do and you go be great. And she came out, okay, you're not going to guard me? One dribble pull up. Go get a rebound. Attack the girl. Share the basketball. But you have to do that. And sometimes in life, people are going to disrespect you. But you have to show up and say, listen, I'm not taking that. I got to stand up for myself because I know I'm better than that. And to see the growth that she's had unbelievable.
You can just see that they want it.
Yeah.
And she's a player, you could see she wants it.
Absolutely.
And has big visions for herself. But when you're early in your career, like, you're going to have games where those things happen. And the question kind of becomes like, are you going to use those moments to add to fuel for the rest of your career and get better? Or is that going to be something that you don't bounce back from? But first step is being in that gym and shooting those free throws the night after.
And it had to have been about 10 o'clock, 10, 11 o'clock, because as soon as we broke out, and there's a lot of post-game stuff, she was in the gym. Yeah, I saw her over there. And 2 of her teammates, though. That's even better because she wasn't in there by herself. She was in there with her teammates, and I believe it was Elena Shetler and Kaiten Donnelly, and they were rebounding for her.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so I think I brought it up the next day once I found out that Kaiten was in there and that Shet was in there, and I said, "Listen, you're not alone." When you feel like I missed the free throw, I didn't take the shot, I lost the game, but who's in here rebounding with you late at night? Your teammates. And that's the culture that we have, and that's what I'm most excited about and happy that we get to coach, honestly, every single day. Just good people.
And I gotta say, another thing I've heard from every player on this team is you really do integrate religion into the program and really have made faith a cornerstone.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just who I am. I mean, you can only fake it for so long, and I don't have energy to fake it. So I'm just gonna be who I am, and that's really who I am, and that's how I live my life. So I just want to be the best example I can for them, and I can't do that without God in my life, without Jesus being the forefront for our family, for our marriage, for our career here. So I'm just being who I am, and I hope that they see that is genuine, and that I want them to be the best woman. And this is a bigger game than the game of basketball. So you're gonna need some help eventually. And I just hope that they know that it's sincere. So yes, that was a big priority, not just because it's ORU, but because that's who we are. But at the same time, adding a balance to it. Like, how can this be realistic to where you are right now in your dorm and how you need to grow? Like, what does that mean for you? For me, it may mean 5 a.m. Bible study, but for you, that may mean creating a Bible study for your teammates in the locker room. So just challenging them in a different way, but knowing that Christ is the cornerstone of it all.
If you could pick one moment this year where you felt like God was with you or there was just something greater at work with you, what would it have been?
Um, I would have to say probably the Kansas game. And we didn't win, and I think there's a beauty to growth that people don't really understand, that it doesn't always mean victory. And I was talking to Gentry, and we were talking about there are moments when I would pray during a game. And someone asked me, "What do you pray about?" And I was like, "I'm not praying for a win. I'm praying for growth. Lord, what do you want me to see in this? What do you want us to learn? What do you want us to grow from?" And I think that Kansas game was the game that we needed to be like, okay, we can compete. We're ready for any competition. That's a P14. We didn't win, but we came and we competed. And that's all I ask. Put yourself in a position to win. Compete. Put yourself in a position to win. And let's see what happens the last 3 minutes of the game. And I think we competed. And I walked in that locker room and I was cheering like we won that game. And they were all like, "What?" And then I was like, "I am so proud of you. I'm so proud of how y'all competed, how y'all played." And honestly, that was the turning point. It was. And then we headed into in December, and we only lost one game in December. So I think that was the point, like, oh shoot, we got something here. I can be good, and that's all you need. All you need is to give someone hope, and you'll never know how far and how good they could really be.
What's so crazy is that, this stuff is a long, long process.
Yeah.
But if you're kind of chipping away and you celebrate the growth and you can not many coaches can do that, so props to you. Being able to get into the locker room and celebrate someone having a better day than the day before, even when the result in the scoreboard might not be what they would want. But like, one day you walk in there and all of a sudden you did win.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Celebrating growth, I mean, I think that's a great way to put it. Like, just with this team, I think that was our main thing, and those are part of our pillar words. Like, growth is our number one pillar, and it's just, if you don't have growth, you're not getting better. You're not, and that's just not even athletically. Like, you have to challenge yourself every single day. You're going a direction. You're not standing still. Either you're going forward or you're going backwards, you know? So it has to be some type of challenge. And I try to challenge them on a daily basis. Like, what are you doing to get better? And like, we made resolutions in December. Because when it came January, we need to be going up a notch. We can't be, oh, now we're making decisions. No, by January, we're heading into conference. So we need to be getting better than we were in December. So, I mean, growth is huge for us. Growth is huge for just human beings, period.
If you could pick one player on the team or something they've done that's inspired you as a coach, what would it be?
One player on the team that's inspired me, I'm going to go with Elena Shetler. Shet she's pushed herself in a way and out of her comfort zone in a way that I didn't really think she would do. She, in the summer, she does a camp, a summer camp. So that's been important to her. With that job and that responsibility and the passion she has for that, it puts her behind a little bit basketball-wise. So it's been some roller coasters for her. But what I loved about Shet, she's committed to doing extra conditioning, and it's paid off. Most student athletes are running from extra conditioning, you know, and she does it after our games, every single game, and she's committed to it, and it has paid off. So there's been moments for her. I didn't know if she was going to finish the season, if she would want to play basketball even more. Now she's a starter. So like, just, you talk about growth, like very inspirational. Just a woman of faith, but also a woman of trials and overcoming, and I'm extremely proud of her.
In closing, when your legacy is, when you leave ORU, whenever that is, hopefully a long, long time from now, what do you want your legacy to be here?
That they saw a heart of gratitude. Just thankful for the opportunity, but with that opportunity, that I did the best job that I could do. The best job that God brought me to this point, and I executed for Him. I pray that they see His light through me. They see His love, His passion through me. And for our players, for ORU, for ORU athletics, for the university, just for young people in general, I pray that they see that our staff loves on them and that they could be bigger and better than they ever could dream of. I pray that we're good role models for them, an ambassador for Christ, but most importantly, ambassador for just go out, and when life smacks you in the face, get up and keep fighting, keep swinging. So I pray that they see heart, they see energy, they see attitude, and they see grit. That's what I hope that my legacy will leave, and that I did job well done.